Gambian President Adama Barrow says he will win the 2021 elections as he begins nationwide tour. Ghanaians await official announcement of Monday's presidential and legislative election results. A Chinese company has launched a new herbal respiratory medicine in Kenya. These and more coming on the wall today. Good evening, you're watching The World Today with me, Sahna Tunkara, and now to our stories in detail. President Adama Barrow began his Meet the People tour this year with a claim that he will win next elections as he held his first meeting in the town of Esau in the Lower Nyamena district. The annual tour is a constitutional mandate and allows the president to listen to the problems and demands of citizens and work towards solving them. The tour has been used as an opportunity to garner votes by the previous president. Desise tells us more.
The Gambian president is aware of the test that lies ahead of the December 2021 presidential elections, as political parties increased dramatically from 9 to 16 in the last 3 years. But as he set out on Monday on a constitutional required mandate to meet the people across the country annually, Adama Barrow said during the first meeting of the tour in Esau that he is optimistic of winning next year's election.
2021.
There will be a lot of candidates in the 2021 presidential elections, but only one candidate will emerge victorious, and that is me, President Adama Barrow. I will be the only one to win the elections.
Health facilities in the Gambia still lack some basic health equipment to treat certain illnesses. As a result, doctors at the main referral hospital often recommend overseas treatment for a good number of patients. The Gambia government is aware of this predicament in health service sector. On Monday, President Barrow said his government has started making progress towards improving the country's fragile health system.
Last year, we tell you that we will start a community ambulance, which has never happened in the Gambia. We are the first to have that idea of bringing community ambulances, which shall be distributed among communities to ensure that anyone who is sick will just phone the ambulance to come pick you. The people of Nyomi are informing you that the ambulances have arrived and yours will be given to you.
Meanwhile, the Gambia's sole electricity and water provider depends on very expensive fuel to produce power to the country's using oil diesel generators. As the demand for electricity supply is increasing, the service has not been up to expectation. But Barrow said his government is working tirelessly to provide electricity to every single house across the country.
But the promise I will give you is with regards to the electricity is that before 2025, each and every house across the Gambia will have electricity. Before 2025, wherever you are in the Gambia, you will get electricity. We have that project. We are working on it.
Meanwhile, during his meeting with the people of Esau, President Barrow welcomes the national chairman of the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress, Dr. Demba Sabali, who defected to his National People's Party. For iAfrica News, I am Desise.
The Gambian leader shows optimism that he will win the 2021 presidential elections during his speech in Esau. Now in Ghana, votes are being counted after Ghanaians voted in presidential and parliamentary elections on Monday. Voters were seen queuing and casting ballots in the Central Business District of Ghana. Details in this report.
Up to 17 million Ghanaians are registered to vote in 38,000 polling stations across the country in Monday's presidential and parliamentary elections. Voters marched to the different polling stations as early as 7 a.m. to cast their ballots. Along with presidential candidates, Ghanaians were also charged with selecting 275 lawmakers out of 914 candidates vying for places in the legislature. The opposition leader John Mahama of the National Democratic Congress Party, with 10 other contestants, are coming up against the incumbent, President Nana Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party. There were reports of violence in some polling stations, but one voter in the Central Business District of Accra said this is the most peaceful election.
This election is one of the peaceful elections I've ever seen in this particular police station. All the time when I come, I've been in a long queue. This is not my first. This is the third time we're voting here.
The election is held amid the COVID-19 pandemic, with preventive measures to stem the possible spread of the virus. Voters wore face masks, disinfected their hands, and maintained social distancing.
I think it's very structured as it has been planned out, and everything is going according to order. There's a lot of discipline in it as well.
This is the third time Nana Akufo went head-to-head with John Mahama, a former one-term president of Ghana and now leader of the main opposition party. The Electoral Commission has warned against the unofficial announcement of election results as counting continues. For iAfrica TV, Sohna Tunkara.
While Ghanaians wait for the official announcement of their parliamentary and presidential election results, the Gambia Transport Union on Monday held a protest calling on the government to implement a queuing system at the ports in Banjul. The GTU said most of the drivers are not benefiting from the current system because the clearing and forwarding agents clear the containers through the Gambia Ports Authority. They also accused the clearing and forwarding agent of cutting the tariff and giving their own price and not giving the drivers their full payment. Fatmata Kasim tells us more.
Omar Cisse, the president of the Gambia Transport Union, said the clearing agents should only stick to clearing and allow the drivers to collect their goods from the ports. Cisse said they complained to the Ministry of Transport and have written a series of letters to the government to intervene. He said after a series of meetings with the authorities in charge, the clearing agents refused to abide by the laws put in place, saying it doesn't favor them.
Come with some guidelines. This is 3 months ago. Last month, we need guidelines.
Last month, they brought guidelines to us saying these are the laws that will govern this transport system. It was not as we wanted, but we respected it because this is government's authority and they have the mandate. Ports wrote a letter to us that now they will implement the queuing system. And on 3rd August, we copied to all stakeholders on the subject matter. On the 2nd, ports contacted us for the implementation to be suspended. I asked why. They said some of the guidelines were not good and some of the laws did not favor them. I told them that even myself, some of the rules did not favor me. But in this life, you don't expect to please everyone. According to the clearing agents, they want to continue collecting $500 and $1,000 they get from the drivers.
The Gambia Transport Union president said the government is the authority, and if the government makes a law and few people refuse to abide by it, then where is the voice of the government?
Tomorrow on the 3rd, according to the guidelines, we have implement. On the 3rd, we implement.
I told them if we do not agree on something, then I will implement this by tomorrow. On the 3rd, then they called PS, and PS told them that this is very clear in the guidelines, that clearing agents don't interfere in the transportation of goods. Government is the authority, and if the government gives out a law, then few people refuse to abide by it. Where is the voice of the government then? We went for a meeting again, and I said that to make it simple, let you load the cars you own. Let the ones you don't own do the queuing system. That is, first come, first have. They said no, they will continue to operate the way they do.
According to the GTU president, they have been fighting this for 8 months now, so they had to protest. They said they don't want to fight, but all they need to know is what changed their agreement. That is why they are out, and to their surprise, they saw anti-riot police officers coming for them. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
From that report by Fatmata Kasim, heading to Kenya, a Chinese pharmaceutical company has launched a new herbal medicine for respiratory disease. The newly launched company introduces different health formulas that could help improve the immune system and cure other respiratory-related diseases. According to the company's board members, all required processes were followed before they were approved by the country's Drug Regulatory Authority. Details in this report.
Operating under a local agent, XRP Medical Kenya Limited, the company introduced Health Yourself Formula 3 and Health Yourself Formula 5. Health Yourself Formula 3 is mainly used for prevention against flu, colds, and nosocomial infections, while Health Yourself Formula 5 is used in the treatment of viral pneumonia, severe respiratory infections, and zoonotic infections.
If your immunity is high, then you will not have a problem and not be easily attacked by COVID-19, which actually affects your chest and your lungs and the upper respiratory tract.
Kenya's Drug Regulatory Authority, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, has approved and certified the two herbal products for sale in the country.
So we went through all that rigorous process of registration, testing, sampling, all that for them to assure themselves that it is safe and it does what it does. We brought a whole dossier, including pharmacological tests, clinical tests that all have been done in China. There's a whole dossier of evidence, including starting from which part of the plant that herbal extract comes from, the process it goes through to be able to be processed, and then what effect it has, what it is used for, and its purities at what levels, and all of them, and the whole composition now.
The ingredients found in the two herbal medicines have been tried and tested in China as a complementary prevention alongside other treatment options to manage respiratory diseases.
A Chinese company has launched a new herbal medicine for respiratory disease in Kenya. Now we'll go with a short commercial break and the news continues.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Watching the world today and to the rest of our stories, the ex-students of Brikama Kabafita, class of 93, have donated medical equipment worth nearly $10.4 million to the Ministry of Health. The donated items include surgical and laboratory items, orthopedicals, and materials for maternity and labor. Fatmata Kasim has more of that in this report.
These medical items were handed over to the Ministry of Health worth $10,475,902 according to the donors, the ex-students of Brikama Kabafita. The representative of the Brikama Area Council, Aliu Dabur, said the humanitarian gesture will boost the beneficiary health facilities. Dabur said it is important that everyone tries their best to support better health service delivery because health is everyone's business. He also said no society can make headway when its people are unhealthy.
But our purpose of donating is to give our little to our community. As the saying goes, let's ask ourselves, what can we do for our community? Or what can we do for our society or our country? So through that intervention, Suleiman Sanya, who is a member of the class of 93, through his consultation with Aissatou and other members of that class, they deem it necessary that since Badia has been supporting the Brikama Hospital through the maternity, now what they can do is to come together and work with Badia, their association or their class. They have some generous people who are out of the Gambia. They too have the zeal and the will to see what can we do for Brikama District Hospital, but not only Brikama, and other health facilities around within the country.
The items donated to the Ministry of Health will be kept at the Central Medical Store in Koto before they are distributed to beneficiary health facilities. Musa Sen, the logistic officer at the Ministry of Health, said they are happy to receive the magnificent donation. He said the medical equipment will be used to fight against COVID-19 and other diseases.
We are very happy to receive the donors from Kabafita class 93 who are here today with us to give a very magnificent donation to the Ministry of Health for the fight against COVID and other diseases.
Fatoumata Samate, a pharmacist at the Ministry of Health, said that they are grateful that the citizens of the country are taking it upon themselves to contribute towards better health services. She said the donors have requested that the items be sent to the Brikama District Hospital. However, Samate said other health facilities will also be able to benefit from the donated medical items.
The donors have requested that the donated items be sent to Brikama District Hospital as their primary target. But we are sure that the items supplied, they're so vast, and they include items like laboratory items, orthopedic and other surgical items, maternity and labor equipment. We are sure they will benefit far beyond the scope of Brikama alone. So for that, we are really, really grateful. And on behalf of the Ministry of Health, we commend your effort and we hope that they will continue far into the future.
The ex-student of Brikama Kabafita class of 93 and a healthcare worker, Aissatou Jallow, said the group is registered as a non-profit organization to support vulnerable people. Thus, this donation is the charity's first initiative since its founding. They said they are hoping to do more. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Kabafita ex-students have donated medical items worth 10.4 million to the Gambia's Ministry of Health. Now, Zimbabwe is among countries that have been severely hit by locust invasion in recent months before it was brought under control. However, international partners, including the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, are working on modalities to avoid further destruction in the region. More in this report.
Zimbabwe experienced invasions by the African migratory locusts in June and October, and although the situation has been brought under control, the country remains on high alert. 6 other nations, namely Angola, Botswana, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa and Zambia, are under threat from the voracious pests.
So the countries are still trying to address the impact of the cyclones, Idai, the climate change, and now we are having the locusts. So this is really this will really have an impact not only on the planting season, because as we know, this is a time where the farmers are supposed to start planting, but if in those areas you have the locusts, this is not really good. It's really difficult to say for the time being how the spread could be or how it could be the level of the consequences, but what we can say is that what we are doing now is really to work hard at least to reduce the impact of the locusts on the crops and also on the food security.
Since January, the Food and Agriculture Organization has mobilized $2.5 million for the response and now plans to scale up assistance to prepare countries at risk to meet the threat.
We are working very closely with the different governments, the different countries, in terms of surveillance, at least to assess the spread and the situation of the locusts in different countries. And so the assessment really helps us to see how we can address the issues, what the level of the response that is needed in those different countries. At the same time, we are also been working in the SADC Secretariat to mobilize resources, because as for the time being, the budget that were published by the SADC is about 20 to 22 million of US dollars to start responding to the crisis.
Beyond providing pesticides, this response will also strengthen the institutional capacity of government departments as well as extension and support services to ensure they can deal with any future invasions as well as other challenges that are affecting food production and security in the region.
International partners are working with the government of Zimbabwe to put an end to the locust invasion in the country. Now, from there coming back home, the Gambia Red Cross Society, in partnership with World Food Programme on Thursday, handed over seeds and garden tools to 95 communities in the Gambia. The donated items are meant to increase the productivity of the community gardens and to fight against food insecurity in the North, Central and Upper River regions. Amadou Kante files in this report.
More than 20,000 gardeners are expected to benefit from the support in the three regions. Speaking at the handing over ceremony, Alassane Senghor, the Secretary General of the Gambia Red Cross Society, said there is a need to widen and diversify their support to different sectors due to the socio-economic challenges brought by the COVID-19 global pandemic. He said there is a need to show solidarity to empower communities to enable them improve their food chain supply.
And this is where we are thinking as humanitarian and development practitioners ahead of the curve to see how we can cushion and bridge that gap to ensure that the supply chain is maintained and people would have access to food continuously. This is why it is important that we all come together to support communities, to start working on horticulture and agriculture in general.
Yasuhiro Tusumwara, the WFP representative and country director, held the partnership between the WFP and the Red Cross as strengthening resilience for women. Tusumwara said the support is aimed at mitigating the economic hardship endured by women farmers due to the impact of the COVID-19.
The challenges faced by the beneficiary farmers clearly show impacts of COVID-19, which are also affecting the negative impacts of climate changes and community-level poverty and instability, which causes disputes and migration. In this very context, our partnership aims to address the strengthening of the resilience of women farmers against these challenges and shocks. Intervention support through community gardens addressing climate change not only creates climate resilient communities, but also promotes social cohesion and sustained peace as land resource conflicts persist in this country.
Musa M. Huma, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, said the public health regulations employed by the government in the work of COVID-19 has directly impacted on the food production system in the country. He assured the donors of his ministry's commitment to deepening ties with them in supporting targeted communities.
I want to assure you on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture that the collaboration with the WFP and the Red Cross Society in regards to the dispensation of these seeds and garden tools and even beyond is going to be strengthened, widened and deepened so that at the end of the day we can achieve the targets that were set before the assessment.
The coronavirus pandemic severely affected lives and livelihoods across different sectors of the economy, including food producers. However, since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus pandemic, the Gambia Red Cross Society, through its partners, has rendered support to different vulnerable communities in the country.
Story by Amadou Kante brings the World Today newscast to an end. Gambia 24 is up next with Mariama Cham at 19:30 GMT. You can also watch our programs on www.iafrica.tv. Good evening.